Good afternoon. This is All India Radio and I am Valsa Williams with the Midday News. The headlines. Election Commission calls all-party meeting on Monday to discuss electoral reforms in view of upcoming Lok Sabha and Assembly polls. In Uttar Pradesh, flood situation in several districts grim along the Ghagra River. Harvest Festival Onam being celebrated in Kerala today. Prime Minister says whole nation stands shoulder to shoulder with the people of Kerala in facing adversities caused by the recent floods. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres describes former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee as an exemplary statesman. And in Asian Games athletics, Mohammad Anas and Rajiv Arokia qualify for the men's 400-meter semi-finals and Chetan Subramania enters men's high jump finals. The Election Commission will hold a meeting of all recognized national and state political parties on various electoral reforms on Monday in New Delhi. The Commission has been periodically holding consultation meetings with all recognized political parties to elicit their views on various important issues. The agenda for the meeting includes discussion on fidelity of electoral rolls. ECI has invited the views of all parties on measures to improve the accuracy, transparency and inclusivity of electoral rolls in view of the upcoming elections to the Lok Sabha and state assemblies. Our correspondent reports that issues related to expenditure ceiling for Legislative Council elections and limiting political party expenditure will be discussed in the meeting. Discussion on enforcement measures to ensure timely submission of annual audited reports and election expenditure reports is also on the agenda. In Uttar Pradesh, the flood situation continues to remain serious in the flood-affected villages close to the Ghagra River in many districts. More than 2 lakh people are affected. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is conducting aerial survey of flood-affected areas on the second consecutive day. More from our correspondent.
Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is today visiting Tarapganj area in Gonda district, where thousands of flood victims have taken shelter in relief camps after breach in Sakraura-Bikharipur embankment on Ghagra River. Ghagra River is wreaking havoc in Faizabad, Gonda, Barabanki, Mau, Basti and Sitapur districts, submerging more than 500 villages of Tarapganj and Karnailganj areas in Gonda district alone. Mandakini River in Chitrakoot is also flowing above danger mark, creating panic in Namghat area. Heavy rains continue to lash many parts of the state, throwing normal life out of gear. Met Department has predicted heavy to very heavy rains in various parts of the state. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
The state government has cancelled the leave of officials in flood-affected areas and asked the administration to intensify rescue operations. Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has announced 7 crore rupees relief from the CSR Fund of Defence Public Sector Undertakings for the flood-affected people of Kodagu in Karnataka. Addressing media persons in Madikeri yesterday, she said the funds will be released to the Kodagu district for flood relief works. A Rajya Sabha member from Karnataka, she also announced 1 crore rupees to Kodagu from her MP Local Area Development Fund. She visited calamity-affected Kodagu. Meanwhile, the people who had vacated their houses owing to fear of landslips and floods are returning to their houses from relief camps. In Kerala, the people are celebrating Harvest Festival Onam today. The President, Vice President and Prime Minister greeted the people on the occasion. Mr. Ramnath Kovind in his message said, "May Onam mark a new beginning for the people of Kerala who are recovering in the aftermath of the recent floods." Vice President Venkaiah Naidu in a tweet said, "May the festival usher in peace, prosperity and happiness in the country." Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his message said, "Onam will give further strength to the people of Kerala to overcome the adversities they have been facing for the past few days due to floods." He said the entire nation stands shoulder to shoulder with Kerala and prays for the happiness as well as prosperity of its citizens. The devastating floods in Kerala that claimed the lives of nearly 240 people since the 8th of August have dampened spirits this year. A report.
Every year, for Malayalis, Thiruvonam Day was said to be a day of festivities. Elaborate feasts known as Onam Sadhya, floral arrangements known as Attapukkalams, folk songs, dances and boat races mark the annual festival. But this year, with lakhs of people still in relief camps and at least 50,000 houses fully or partially damaged by floods, the 10-day-long Onam festival is a quiet affair. The Kerala government had announced that it will not be organizing any Onam celebrations this year. Several other organizations, including schools and colleges, also decided not to celebrate this festival. Though the celebratory air is low, imbibing the true meaning of Onam, which gives the message of togetherness, the Malayalis are celebrating the festival by helping each other and rebuilding lives. This is Shamila for AR News, Thiruvananthapuram.
Union HRG Minister Prakash Javadekar stressed on the need to encourage research work in varsities. He was addressing the valedictory function of centenary celebration of Patna University. Mr. Javadekar said the government is trying to bring back meritorious Indian students doing research work abroad to ensure success of Make in India program. He exhorted universities to focus on research work. The Union Minister said 3,000 Atal tinkering labs have been set up in schools throughout the country to create an environment of scientific temperament, innovation, creativity in students. Mr. Javadekar said that the government has spent 1,800 crore rupees for research work during the last 3 years and that 2,200 crore rupees will be spent in the next 3 years. In Jammu and Kashmir, a soldier was killed in a landmine explosion in North Kashmir's frontier Kupwara district late last night. Security sources said the mine blast took place at around 10 p.m. last night when an army column of 3 JAK rifles was patrolling an area close to the line of control in the district. A soldier who was grievously injured in the explosion later succumbed. In Arunachal Pradesh, the bill for constituting a staff selection board will be introduced in the assembly session commencing on Monday. This was informed by the state's Chief Secretary Satyap Gopal during a meeting with the Commissioner and Secretaries at Itanagar yesterday. He said the government has decided to constitute the board to recruit all Group C posts in the state. He also asked all the departments to withdraw forthwith advertisements which have been published and wherein admit cards have not been issued. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has described former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee as an exemplary statesman. The UN chief, during his visit to the Permanent Mission of India this week, extended his heartfelt condolences to the former Prime Minister's family. He recalled that he had met Vajpayee during the first India-EU summit. The UN chief added that he would always be remembered as an exemplary statesman and leader who worked selflessly for peace and development in India and the world. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj will leave for a 4-day visit to Vietnam and Cambodia on Monday. In Vietnam, the minister will co-chair the 16th meeting of the Joint Commission along with her Vietnamese counterpart, Pham Binh Minh. She will also call on Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc. She will inaugurate the 3rd edition of the Indian Ocean Conference. The External Affairs Minister will leave for Cambodia on the 29th. She will have a bilateral meeting with her Cambodian counterpart Prak Sokhon and call on Prime Minister Hun Sen and President of Senate Se Chum. This will be the minister's first official visit to Cambodia. Our correspondent reports the visit of Mrs. Swaraj will also help advance India's strategic engagement with these countries and the ASEAN region. The United States has cancelled more than $200 million in aid for the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip and West Bank. A State Department official said the decision made at the direction of President Donald Trump came after a review of the aid programs to the Palestinian territories. The official said the move takes into account the challenges the international community faces in providing assistance in Gaza, where Hamas control endangers the lives of Gaza's citizens and degrades an already dire humanitarian and economic situation. Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh Chief Mohan Bhagwat has said that dharma does not mean only religious rituals but also social duty. People mostly talk about it but do not get involved in uplifting society. He added that if people performed their duty towards society, they will naturally help a social cause. Bhagwat was speaking at a function in Mumbai to mark the birth centenary of late RSS leader Nana Palkar. Industrialist Ratan Tata was the chief guest at the event. Bhagwat further said that the Sangh believes in inclusive development and nation building through collective effort. Over 4,000 Jan Aushadhi medical stores were opened in over 600 districts across the country under Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana. The central government initiative was aimed at supplying quality medicines at affordable prices. The generic medicines cost 10 to 30% less than the branded medicines sold in the open market. Here is a ground report.
In Telangana, nearly 90 Jan Aushadhi medical stores are supplying about 700 types of medicines and over 150 surgical items at affordable prices to the people. Initially, the stores were set up at least one per district, but their number has gone up to an average of 3 per district. Sai Chaitanya, a manager of a Jan Aushadhi medical store in Adilabad, says,
For the past 2 years, I have been managing the Jan Aushadhi store. People are getting medicines for blood pressure, diabetes and heart ailments at almost half of the prices here. Persons like me are also getting employment opportunity under the program.
Venkat Rao, a resident of Adilabad, is happy as he is getting medicines for 2 months at the cost he used to spend for 1 month earlier.
I am purchasing my medicines from Jan Aushadhi store for the past 6-7 months. I am getting them for almost half of the price compared to other medical stores. Quality is also good. There should be more store of this sort. I have blood pressure, sugar and heart problem.
The state government is also providing space for Jan Aushadhi medical stores at places like railway stations and bus terminals. With Ramakant from Adilabad, Lakshmi, AIR News, Hyderabad.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in India and abroad in his Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio tomorrow. It will be the 47th episode of the monthly radio program. It will be broadcast on the entire network of All India Radio and Doordarshan at 11 a.m. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will also be repeated at 8 p.m. in the evening. And now news from the 18th Asian Games being held in Indonesia.
India's Asian Games athletic campaign kicked off on a positive note today as Mohammad Anas and Rajiv Arokia qualified for the men's 400-meter semi-finals. Mohammad Anas topped Heat 1 while Rajiv Arokia finished second in Heat 4. High jumper Chetan Subramanya also qualified for the men's high jump final. He finished 5th in Group B. In badminton, Saina Nehwal reached women's singles quarterfinal, beating Indonesia's Fitriani 21-6, 21-14. However, in men's doubles, India lost to South Korea. All eyes now will be on PV Sindhu in the second round of badminton women's singles event. In volleyball Pool F match, India beat Maldives in straight sets 25-12, 25-21, 25-17. India's Vikas Thakur lifted 145 kg in his third attempt in men's 94 kg snatch. However, it was not a good day for the shooters as Anish Bhanwala and Shivam Shukla failed to qualify for the men's 25-meter rapid-fire pistol final as they finished 9th and 11th respectively. In archery, while India's women's recurve team was knocked out in the quarterfinals today after losing 2-6 to Chinese Taipei, men's team beat Vietnam 5-3 to reach the quarterfinal. In Sepak Takraw also, India lost to South Korea in men's Regu preliminary Group B match. There are plenty of events featuring Indian athletes today with potential of bringing more medals. India is assured of 3 medals in squash as Saurabh Ghoshal, Deepika Pallikal and Joshna Chinnappa play their semi-final matches. Duti Chand will be seen in action in women's 100-meter event. Hima Das and Nirmala will be aiming for top podium finish in 400-meter race. In women's hockey, India will take on South Korea this evening. India is currently placed 9th in the tally with 25 medals comprising 6 gold, 5 silver and 14 bronze. China continues to top the tally with 143 medals, followed by Japan with a tally of 107 medals. With Arun Banerjee's report, Swati Rakheja for Sports Desk.
And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Election Commission calls all-party meeting on Monday to discuss electoral reforms in view of upcoming Lok Sabha and Assembly polls. In Uttar Pradesh, flood situation in several districts grim along the Ghagra River. harvest festival Onam being celebrated in Kerala today. Prime Minister says whole nation stands shoulder to shoulder with the people of Kerala in facing adversities caused by the recent floods. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres describes former PM Atal Bihari Vajpayee as an exemplary statesman, and in Asian Games athletics Muhammad Anas and Rajiv Arokia qualify for men's 400-meter semi-finals and Chetan Subramanya enters men's high jump final. And with that we end the midday news.